Wait! Springtrap, you can't jump scare us. You're here to save Dead by Daylight.
How can I resist?
You know, FNAF is literally right around the corner. The real question is, how would a chapter like that even work or look like in Dead by Daylight? We need to know if you're gonna be terrifying, overpowered, or worse. Maybe. It's time to dive into some awesome fan-made creations of what exactly the FNAF chapter is gonna look like when it finally comes in to DBD. Alright, we have a beautiful concept here by Darth Wolf. Of course, the new killer that's going to be joining is Springtrap, or the attraction. The power is called Phantasm Fright. The agony of those you've slaughtered follows you into the trials. Here's the special ability, the Phantom Mode. You are unable to interact with survivors in Phantom Mode. Hold the power button to swap between the two different forms. While in Phantom Mode, your terror radius is reduced to 16 meters. Your red stain also disappears. The special enemy is going to be the Phantoms. You are able to infect interactable objects with Phantoms while in Phantom Mode, up to a maximum of 4. Those Phantoms haunt the area within a 15-meter radius. Using the active ability button allows you to teleport to these Phantoms, destroying the Phantom in the process. You are unable to place Phantoms and teleport for 15 seconds. Alright, so far this ability sounds pretty decent from this awesome creation. You go into a Wraith-like mode where nobody can really see you, and then you can choose to teleport to things like Freddy, but I assume this is going to be instantaneously. You just pop up, boom, you're right next to any object, whether that's a vault, whether that's a generator, similar to the Unknown as well, where you can just get your husk down and then teleport directly to them. So I'm liking the concept so far, but there's some special effects. The special effect for this one is called Insanity. Survivors can develop insanity, which will hinder them when trying to complete their objectives. They gain insanity by being in your terror radius while observing you, and by being near the Phantoms. Survivors are not able to see Phantoms normally. In Tier 1 Insanity, survivors are able to see glimpses of the Phantom. In Tier 2, Phantoms will periodically appear out of sight of a survivor nearby. Survivors who look at the Phantoms are jump scared and are oblivious and blinded for 20 seconds. They will also gain Insanity. In Tier 3 Insanity, Phantoms will periodically chase the survivor if spotted and won't stop until they enter a locker. If a Phantom catches them, they become exposed for 30 seconds and revealed to the killer instinct for a short duration. All previous Insanity Tier effects apply to Tier 3 as well. So this is pretty awesome. So not only can you set these Phantoms up to a maximum of 4, but if survivors are in Tier 3, it will literally chase them away until they jump into a locker. And if they get caught, they're literally going to be exposed. That's actually pretty good because it's in a way indirect pressure. You have to keep an eye on this on Rio tape. It's a hybrid of all the kind of killers. And if you don't keep an eye on this and manage your sanity here, then you become insane and the killer knows where you're at and you become exposed, which is really bad. Finally, we have the special interaction, which is a Freddy plushie. Survivors are able to calm themselves by retrieving a Freddy plushie from a locker. Survivors can reminisce of a better time and are able to bring their insanity back down to 0. The plushie then breaks after reminiscing. Honestly, this is a pretty W power. There definitely needs to be some tweaks to this and some adjustments because this was made quite a while ago. But with the right touch-ups, this can be a really cool concept. The Phantom idea makes a lot of sense for someone like Springtrap coming into DBD, which in more than likelihood we're going to see something like that. It's like this concept, just something that directly affects your objectives, and it's something that you always got to keep your eye on. I love powers like this that give that indirect pressure. So overall, a pretty nice power, just needs a little bit of tweaks here and there, and I think it can be pretty spot on. Of course, we have 3 awesome perks to go with this. The first one that we have is Afghan Robotics. Injuring survivors by any means will give you a token, up to a maximum of 4 tokens. The next time you hit a generator, it will immediately remove 3% for each token. This is a pretty W perk. Every time you basically do your job correctly and you're injuring survivors, you can continue to damage the generator more and more and more. Combine this with something like Pop, and anything that stacks, you're going to have a lot of gen pressure. I really like this one because you get rewarded for doing your job right. Maybe 3% is a little bit high for each token just because combining it with other things like pop will give a massive amount of debuff. So maybe we simmer that down to 1.5 or 2, and it probably won't be that bad of a perk. Unsolved Mystery is the next perk. Each time your aura is shown, the survivor sees it, screams, revealing their location. After they no longer see your aura, they are blinded for 15 seconds. Alright, so this is a decent one. If anytime survivors are able to see your aura, which in some cases they do, they'll just scream, revealing their location. Scene Partner, that's the one. So it's very similar to Scene Partner. Again, this chapter came out a while ago, so they're quite similar in that sense. But still an alright one. Hex Poltergeist. You gain the undetectable status for 15 seconds at the start of the match. You keep receiving this in intervals of 20 seconds. Hitting a survivor ends this abruptly. This is actually a really cool one. I honestly, starting off the match with no heartbeat whatsoever, and then if you have something like Lethal Pursuer, you could just pop up and get it easy down, especially if you're a one-shot killer or even a sort of stealthy killer. Imagine you're just like Billy, right? You run the silent chainsaw with this perk and you just pop up and then boom, they're just gone. Honestly, I really like that perk. I would love to see that perk coming into the game and maybe even different kind of perks affecting it as well. Overall, this is a great chapter. I can't lie. This is super duper unique. It's super cool. It makes sense lore-wise. I would love to see something like this coming in. Next on the list, we have a recent concept by Shadow Knight, who actually made this when the official announcement was taking place. So they have made a concept with the new killer, the Yellow Rabbit, and a new survivor with Mike. We're only going to focus on the new killer for now. I encourage you to take a look at their work down below. Phantoms of the Past. Press the secondary power button to enter Phantom mode. While in Phantom mode, you're undetectable and intermittently invisible to survivors further than 20 meters away from you. Your special ability is the jump scare. While in Phantom mode, press the power button to charge a jump scare attack. When the attack's ready, quickly lunge forward and inflict the hit survivor with the haunted status effect. After a successful jump scare attack, exit Phantom mode and it goes on to cooldown for 15 seconds. Being stunned or blinded will also cause you to exit Phantom mode. Survivors that suffer from Haunted will periodically experience hallucinations in the forms of phantoms and illusionary yellow rabbits that cause them to scream, interrupting their current action and briefly revealing their location to you. After 60 seconds not on a chase, Haunted is removed. Performing altruistic or cooperative actions will decrease the Haunted timer. Finally, the special ability is Terror Zones. After performing a jump scare attack, a 4-meter terror radius zone will form around the Yellow Rabbit for 3 seconds. Survivors that enter the terror zone will be afflicted by Haunted, as well as the hindered status effect for 3 seconds. Going back to that special ability of the jump scare, I love the idea of having some sort of jump scare with the new killer coming into the game. To me, it just fits absolutely perfectly. And this one, just like some of the other concepts that we've seen and will see, goes around the same sort of themes of phantom modes and jump scares, which is super duper spot on. So this power is a little bit similar to the Doctor. I think it will be good if you actually lunge and attack a survivor, you actually injure them as well, similarly to the Demogorgon. I think a power where you literally just lunge at a survivor similar to the jump scare would be super duper fantastic. So overall, this is a really, really cool thing. With a little bit of tweaking, I think this would find a perfect home in Dead by Daylight. Here are the 3 perks. Keep Coming Back. After being stunned, Keep Coming Back activates, and the following effects apply for 20 seconds. You gain 5% haste, break pallets and breakable walls 25% faster. This has a cooldown of 60 seconds. Backstage Horrors. After hooking a survivor, all other survivors suffer from the Oblivious status effect for 16 seconds. Cruel Machinations. Survivors inside your terror radius suffer from a 12% action speed penalty to repairing and healing. Wow, these are some absolutely fantastic perks. Cruel Machinations is amazing. 12% from repairing? Oof, That's going to be really, really nice. I also really like Keep Coming Back. It suits the name as well. And whenever you're stunned, just having that extra haste would be super duper good. Combining that with some of the perks like Rapid Brutality can be absolutely nutty. Overall, this is a fantastic concept and a job well done. Again, if you haven't already, check this out in the description because there's even add-ons as well as a new survivor and a map and cosmetics that the person has created for this, so you have to take a look. Finally, we have one of my favorite ones from Repulsive Champion. When I read this is exactly what I imagined the FNAF chapter looking like. Of course, the attraction or Springtrap is going to be the killer, and here is the awesome power. Fazbear Frights. During the trial, 3 phantom animatronics can be seen. Phantom Freddy will roam around the realm automatically. Watch him too long or too many times and you'll get jump scared. Phantom Freddy will then disappear and reappear randomly on the map soon after. Phantom Chica can be placed on a generator by the attraction. Once she's settled, the next survivor that tries to fix a generator will get jump scared. The generator will also be blocked. You can have only one Phantom Chica at any given time. Phantom Foxy can be spawned by tapping the power button. He is first immobile, but if any survivor steps into the field of vision, he will charge at them, jump scaring them. If not triggered for 5 seconds, he will disappear and no cooldown will be needed to spawn him again. You can only have one Phantom Foxy at any given time. There is a cooldown on every Phantom animatronic, however, the longer the trial goes, the shorter the cooldown becomes. When you are jump scared, you are stunned. Send a notification to the killer and get the jump scare status effect for 5 seconds. When the attraction is near a jump scared survivor, they can tap the attack button to automatically lunge to them way further than a normal attack. Again, as I said with the previous one, I love the jump scare idea, and this is essentially the night but with phantoms instead, and they jump scare you. So it's everything in one. You get pretty much the entirety of FNAF in this, and that's absolutely amazing. I would love to see something like this. Maybe some even more side effects when you get jump scared because they're pretty conditional. For example, if you just look away from Freddy, that's it. Chica can catch you once in a while, and Foxy is a little bit more skillful depending on where you put him. So maybe if there's different effects at different times to ensure that you're always getting a jump scare at some point in time, it's good because if a survivor is jump scared for 5 seconds, it's kind of like they're caught in the killer's bear trap. So if you're not necessarily around for that time, you can't necessarily lunge and get him. But it would be super cool if, similarly to the game, you literally jump and attack the survivor. That would be super duper cool to see. I really like this concept. It is honestly super duper cool. Alright, here are the 3 unique perks. First of all, we have Vengeful Spirit. You get 1 token on a total of 5 every time you get stunned or blinded. For every 1 token you have, your terror radius is decreased by 6 meters and your speed during a chase increases by 3%. However, your walk sound cues are heard for 3 more meters each token you get. Once you have 5 tokens, you'll get the undetectable status effect and your general speed is increased by 5%. Break in Men. Every time you kill a survivor, you get 1 token on a total of 2. When one of your hex totems is cleansed or boon, walk up to its rumble and consume one of your tokens to hex it again. It will not be repaired if you don't have any token. You can only do it 1 time per hex totem. Now, obviously, again, this chapter was made quite a while ago, so we have something already like that in the game, but hey, still pretty cool. Hex Private Party. A totem becomes hexed on the map. When a survivor is at more than X meters away from other survivors, you can put them into the dying state in 1 hit. If used successfully, you'll need to wait an X amount of time before hitting any other survivor before it becomes active again. So that's a really cool one. There honestly is going to be no tell on who is going to be exposed. I'm assuming the survivors will know, so they're going to look for those hex totems. But imagine you just walking along, you see a survivor just running, let's say it's just Claudette. You just hit her and then she just goes down and you're like, oh, well, there's my value. Honestly, it's a cool perk. I like the concept. If there was a little bit of a tell, maybe a slight glimpse or killer instinct of who's away from everybody, that'll be absolutely fantastic. So there you go, 3 awesome creations on what potentially the FNAF chapter can look like. I see a lot of recurring themes, the biggest one being Springtrap coming into the game. From a lot of the concepts and research that I've done, every single person wants the pizzeria as the map, which in realistic terms, I don't know if we're necessarily going to see it, but I think you have to bring it in with this chapter. There's so many skins as well that you can bring in. I'm really looking forward to seeing all of the different skins that you can bring in. I might even have a video talking about what killers and what skins would work well together. So if you want to participate in that, leave a comment down below. But that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you guys check out all of the creators to all of these concepts down below. Let me know what kind of concept you would make for a FNAF chapter coming into the game. As always, I'm the King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.